So this is an amazing pivot from our usual orthopedic surgeon stories. We have the CEO of Zimmer Biomet, Ivan Tornos, who is literally one of the most remarkable CEOs on the planet. He is forward-facing, he is authentic, he tells it like it is, he is available, he's shaking hands and kissing babies, he's at every meeting, he's meeting surgeons. He's developed an amazing culture at Zimmer Biomet. So many people are just so proud to be a part of what is his missionary vision, not mercenary, missionary, providing care to reduce the pain, keep patients moving. He talks about safety, efficiency, best-in-class outcomes, the pillars of how he has built his business and how he is out there doing his own social media. I mean, he's just such a personable individual. It is so remarkable for someone that has achieved so much that he has. You are going to love this episode as much as I did, I know. Dr. Sigman, hashtag follow the fro.
From medical media, this is The Ortho Show.
Hello world, Dr. Scott Sigman, your favorite opioid-sparing orthopedic surgeon here for another episode of the Ortho Show podcast, where everyone knows we bring you the best of the best within the orthopedic industry and space. And today is absolutely no exception. We have Mr. Ivan Tornos, who is the CEO of Zimmer Biomet out of one of the famous places of orthopedics, Warsaw, Indiana. Ivan, what a pleasure it is for you to take time out of your busy schedule and join us today.
Great to be here, Dr. Sigman. Finally, been waiting for a while, so great to be here.
I know. Bill Levine has tried to organize this for a long time, and we always listen to the Professor Levine, so we're so happy we got you on for sure. So listen, Ivan, we always start at the beginning. We like to know, like, where did you grow up? What was your family? How did you get into this whole thing? Give us a short explanation of that.
Absolutely. Well, as you can tell by the unique and funny accent, I am not from Warsaw, Indiana, although I got here as quickly as I could. I am from Madrid, Spain, and I grew up all over the place. I spent middle school in Europe, but I did my middle school education in Europe. Then I went on to the US, high school in North Carolina. I tell people, although I sound like I got off a boat yesterday, I've been in and out of the country for 30 years. So high school in North Carolina, school in North Carolina and Georgia, go Bulldogs. And then my career has been all over the place. So spent time in China a few years, spent time in private equity in Germany, my home country of Spain, spent time with Johnson & Johnson in Mexico. So all over the place. But these days I do call Warsaw, Indiana and New York City home. And this is where I am.
Well, they love to have you in Warsaw, that's for sure. We'll talk about that towards the end because we have a lot of colleagues that we know as well that are from that region. But what I really love about your history and is it truly is an international. I mean, you have literally been all over the world, as you said. You have tremendous medical device experience. You started off with Johnson & Johnson, then you went to BD, and then obviously now have made your way into the orthopedic space for Zimmer in about 2018. So it truly has been a worldwide education for you along the way.
Yeah, indeed. I've done nothing but healthcare, actually. So my first job was actually in private equity. I was a consultant for a couple of summers through a college. And then I went right into medtech. So at a very young age, I was the CEO of a hearing aid company, private equity-backed hearing aid company between Germany and Spain. And we sold that. And after that, it was J&J, Johnson & Johnson, great company. I was there for almost 13 years. I did run the Pew in Southern Europe for a few years. I was with Ethicon. I was in pharmaceuticals, spent time with cardiology in Miami, Latin America, China. And then on to Baxter, Covidian, which became Medtronic, ZR Bar, which became Becton Dickinson. And in 2008, I came back to the fascinating world of orthopedics. And what a great time to come back. So much happening here, as you know, Dr. Sigman.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. And what I mean, You're one of these guys that your resume speaks for itself. I mean, you've been in finance, you've been in sales, you've been in the marketing side, you've commercialized, research and development. All of those things have brought you to this moment now to be the CEO. And I think it's really interesting because I want to talk about your management style, which is really quite unique in this business. I mean, you are literally, when I say this out loud, you are literally the face of Zimmer Biomet. I mean, you are everywhere. You're shaking hands, you're kissing babies. You have opportunities to talk about the development of your company. You are very hands-on. So where did that style come from?
Role models and mentors throughout my life. So for me, it's about leading by example, leading by being present, leading by accountability, with purpose and by accountability. So throughout my career and personal life, I grew up around mentors and role models that did the same thing. I'm not going to hold you accountable to do something that I myself, Scott, I'm not willing to do. So to me, it's about being present. To me, it's about holding myself accountable. To me, it's about demonstrating what solid work ethic looks like. We have a strategy here at Zimmer Biomet that we call customer-centric solutions leadership. We can talk about that later. But you cannot be customer-centric from an ivory tower doing a Zoom call. Customers out there, I want to be in front of customers. I want to be in surgeries, learning by seeing what you do each and every day, by understanding your problems. So to me, it's about being present.
I love it. And you even answer your own social media, Ivan. I mean, where do you have the time of the day? I mean, literally, I'll post something on LinkedIn and there you are. You'll comment on it. And I know it's coming from you. It's not somebody else.
I manage all of my communications. All of my communications have my accent. All of my communications have my DNA. Hey, listen, the day has 24 hours. If you are disciplined, if you're structured, there is plenty that you can accomplish. I don't waste time. I'm very structured, get up at the same time each and every day. I do the same things, the same days, at the same time. So it's about discipline and being structured. And yes, I do answer my own social media. I'm only on LinkedIn, so I'm not on Twitter. I'm not on Facebook. I don't do Instagram. I don't do anything social, but I'm very, very passionate about staying connected in orthopedics. So that's why I use LinkedIn.
I'm the same. I mean, I do not let anyone do my LinkedIn posts. It comes from me each and every time. I have just developed incredible relationships across industry because of that. And so just I completely respect that for sure. So look, there's been
you're doing an amazing job, let me tell you. So I do follow you.
That's very kind.
I don't follow many people, but I do follow you, and I read all your posts and I watch your show. And you're doing an unreal job. So thank you for inspiring us.
You're very kind. You are very kind. So look, I've been doing this for a long time too. I've been doing this for 30 years, and I've been out to Warsaw, Indiana before back in the day, and the manufacturing of the implants, and it was a small niche group of people. And medical device companies were just about device. It was about the widgets. It was about what your product would do. But now things have truly grown. So tell us about your vision for Zimmer Biomet, moving away from just being a device company to perhaps maybe like a solutions company, and how you're incorporating all these new things.
Yeah, absolutely. And I alluded to this just a few minutes ago. Let me start with the vision. We will become the boldest medtech company on earth, solving the most meaningful healthcare problems. And I don't need to tell you, in orthopedics, those are best-in-class clinical outcomes, safety, particularly in the area of infection management, and then efficiency. Best-in-class clinical outcomes in a shorter amount of time in the operating room, shorter episode of care, with less instrumentation, with less people, which obviously equals less cost. So those are the three problems that we aim to solve: safety, efficiency, and best-in-class clinical outcomes. That's the vision of the company. And yes, this is not about selling gadgets anymore. We anchor ourselves on solutions. What is the problem we're trying to solve? Hence the importance of being present, doing ethnography and whatnot. And then how do we solve that problem? Is it through surgical technique? Is it through a better product? Is it through technology? Is it through data? So we're not married to a solution like in the old days. We got to come up with a better product. And I'm proud to tell you that we have the most comprehensive ecosystem, we do believe, across the entire episode of care to do exactly that: deliver best-in-class clinical outcomes, drive efficiency across the entire episode of care, especially in the operating room, and investing in safety protocols. So that's the new Zimmer Biomet, and frankly, that's the new world of orthopedics. You know this better than me.
No, it's fantastic. That is your why, the why of Zimmer Biomet: safety, efficiency, and best-in-class outcomes. I mean, what more could you ask for? I love that forward-facing concept and idea. So that sort of transitions to the next thought I thought I would bring up, which is, we were antiquated in orthopedics and surgery when it came to technology for a long time, right? We still have wires, things are connected to things in the operating room. Yep. So we have artificial intelligence, we have all of these things, but tell us what your vision is for Zimmer Biomet within technology and how that will be applied across your why and your solutions that you're developing.
I love the question. And frankly, I'm really proud of the work that all of us are doing. And by all of us, I mean Zimmer Biomet, Johnson & Johnson, Stryker, Smith & Nephew, Medacta, many of us. Orthopedics has changed a lot. As I mentioned earlier, I was in orthopedics in Europe back in 2005, 2006. And back then, the pace of innovation wasn't that rapid. If you fast forward 2024, there's a lot happening. So it's not just one or two companies, it's all of us. And obviously, this is great for the patients, number one, and for the industry. Our vision is to make sure that we leverage technology to deliver clinical and economic outcomes. We believe that we can continue to save time, which equals money. We believe that we can resolve the famous 1 of every 5 patients being dissatisfied with her or his knee procedure, different rates obviously in shoulders and hips. We believe that in a smart way, by leveraging technology, we can deliver lower costs while improving clinical outcomes. We believe that we can personalize surgeries. We believe that we'll be able to predict through data before surgery the outcome of a surgery. So clinical and economic outcomes, that is the bold vision of this company that I represent.
Yeah, and I really believe, I mean, so many people are worried about AI, and Terminator, and they're going to take over the world and all of this, but you can see the true benefit that's going to be happening as we move forwards. As doctors, as physicians, we sort of were one-on-one with our patients. You get into an exam room, but think about if we can combine all of the factors that we're seeing across the large population and how we can then control the outcomes as you're describing, whether it's intraoperatively, whether it's preoperatively, postoperatively to create these outcomes. I think technology is it's really exciting times for technology around the surgical world.
It is already. I was going to say it's going to be game changing. Already is game changing. So think about mixed reality. We have a partnership with Microsoft HoloLens in mixed augmented reality. So think about one of your nurses being in 2 operating rooms at the same time. Or think about being able to do a surgery, achieving what we call co-presence. Dr. Sigman is here in New York City, and Dr. Levine in Madrid, Spain. The both of you are in the same room doing the surgery together. Think about having a rep in a rural area that leverages mixed reality to be in 2-3 cases at the same time. Think about medical education and how mixed reality is already changing medical education. And now let's move into smart implants, products like Persona IQ that will stay with the patient for life with a sensor inside of the tibial component of a knee. How is the range of motion, the gait, and only God knows how you can leverage that data down the road. So again, clinical outcomes and economic outcomes, because the more data I can collect, the more that I'll be able to predict the outcomes. And then I know what's going to happen with readmission rates, how long is going to be my length of stay, what are my rates of complications. And we're already doing all of that here at Zimmer Biomet, collecting that data for future new product development. As you can tell, I'm very passionate about this. I could spend an hour talking to you about it, but it is definitely a new field. This is not the same orthopedic world of just 3-5 years ago.
It is amazing. It is truly evolutionary times. It is really hard to keep up with all of the new startup companies and the new technology. So I think it's really amazing. I think oftentimes of the medical device companies early on, decades ago, it was all internal research and development, and the engineers were working, et cetera. But there wasn't an incubator model. There wasn't an opportunity for sort of these mergers and acquisitions that we're seeing now, which I think are so important, right? Because there's so many aspects of technology. It would be hard to organically grow all of that in Warsaw, Indiana at Zimmer, right? So taking advantage of those other companies.
Yeah, well, I tell people we no longer do research and development. We also do search and development.
Mm.
And to that end, we do invest in early startups. We partner externally. We invest in incubator models, like you highlighted. We partner, obviously, with best-in-class universities that have early stage concepts. So it's not all made at home here at Zimmer Biomet, Warsaw, Indiana. We do an extensive amount of search and development. We don't use just the same old-fashioned global advisors, not the prominent Dr. Sigmans and Dr. Levine. We're giving a lot of credit to Dr. Levine here today, by the way.
He's always like the number one guy to be talked about, but it's okay. We love you, Bill. We love you.
We love you, Bill. We look for other advisors. We look for younger advisors, people 1, 2, 3 days into medical practice. We do a lot of reverse innovation, OUS, outside of the US into the US. So again, a lot has changed, and I like the pace. I like the pace that we take in these days.
I love that, because I always say, you can't build a new spaceship and not have the astronauts involved in the conversation and the design. It won't fly, right? So how important is it for you as an industry leader to be able to partner with surgeons that you're talking about at this point? I think it really has to be very important.
Mission critical. And we partner across what I call the 5 vectors of a partnership. We partner on best-in-class training. We're going to be launching a lot of new products. Zimmer Biomet is launching a lot of new products. And again, candidly, so are my peers. Stryker, Smith & Nephew, my buddy Aldo Denti over at J&J, and a few others. We need to have best-in-class training. So that's pillar number 1. Number 2 is innovation. Innovation that is surgeon-centric. You know better than me what is that you need in an operating room. You know better than me what is that your patients need. So we do a lot of surgeon-centric innovation. So that's probably the most important pillar. We've done a lot of that in the past, and we're accelerating that now. The third pillar is globalization. All of us are becoming global. Zimmer Biomet historically has been very US-centric. We want to be a global firm. We want to get ideas, as I just mentioned, from outside the US into the US. We continue to foster innovation from the US to outside the US. We want to be more of a global company. Anatomy matters. Standard of care practices are changing. They're different across different nations. We want to be a global company. The fourth pillar is clinical research. We're running a ton of clinical trials. I want to do so much more. Again, if I'm going to be launching data, technology, artificial intelligence ecosystems, if I'm going to be betting on new materials, if I'm going to bring new compounds, if I'm going to be looking at new anti-infective solutions, I got to have the data to show that indeed these are groundbreaking and they do deliver the clinical and the economic outcome. So the fourth pillar is clinical research. And then the fifth one is thought partnership. We want to be surrounded with best-in-class disruptive thought leaders that are coming to us and they're telling us the 99 things that are wrong with our designs, with how we think about surgical technique and everything in between. So a bit of a lengthy answer I'm giving you here, but think of us as the trusted partner around training, innovation, globalization, clinical research, and best-in-class thought partnership.
Fantastic. I love the concept of the pillars, the foundation of the company as you move forwards. And for our young orthopedic listeners that are out there, you heard it from the CEO, Ivan, right here. He wants to talk to you. He's interested in your ideas. You don't have to be an old guy with gray hair, right? We'll partner with you. We'll learn from each other and develop these great ideas moving forward. So truly well said.
We're looking for you.
All right.
We are looking for you.
All right, they're looking for you guys.
We also like people with white hair, just for the record as well. So.
I love it. We're hair for everybody. It's all good. So let's talk about ASCs, because I think that, when I first started in practice, you spend 5 days in the hospital after a knee replacement, you spend 2 weeks in the rehab, and now everything is moving to the ASC. And so that has to be a big part of your business strategy, moving forwards. And what do you see there? I mean, it's just so amazing what we're doing these days now for our patients. Where's your growth there?
Yeah, well, first things first, the cases are moving to the ASC at a very rapid velocity. So the data that we get through McKinsey and others is that 40 to 60% of all cases will move into the ASC space in the next 3 to 5 years. And it's not lost to me, that's a wide range between 40 to 60%. That in itself tells you that nobody really knows, but the number is very high. The three problems that I highlighted earlier are extremely important in an ASC. They're important in inpatient, outpatient, but they are mission critical in an ASC. You definitely want to have efficiency. That knee you are doing in an hour, you got to do it in less time. If you're using X amount of material, you want to use Y being less than X amount of material. So efficiency is paramount. You do need to have best-in-class clinical outcomes. So you can have readmissions, needless to say, that's a key problem when is your P&L when you're on that. And then infection. So the same three problems that we are focusing on overall are very acute in an ASC. To that regard, we are doing a lot of innovation that drives speed, that ensures best-in-class clinical outcomes. We're working on very customer-centric technology. We're leveraging these partnerships that I mentioned earlier, the one with Microsoft, the one with Apple. So we think in ASCs each and every day. We have built a best-in-class organization around contracting. We have dedicated people that each and every day are covering cases. With the recent changes in shoulder surgery and the federal reimbursement for shoulder arthroplasty in an ASC, we've invested a lot of time, frankly, and money to have a fully dedicated organization that each and every day are taking care of these ASC opportunities. Started here in the US, we've seen pockets of this already in Northern Europe. I think this will become the global platform in years to come. So it's not going to be just a US phenomenon.
All right, so let's throw it, I wasn't going to bring it up, but you do have this crazy, really cool new technology, the ROSA robot, which is going to be there for shoulder replacement the first time. It's going to be an FDA approved robot in the world of shoulder. Got to send out some love to Ryan Krupp, Joaquin Sanchez-Sotelo, who are two of our favorites. But, tell us a little bit about that, where you see that's going to take us as well.
Groundbreaking. First of all, we did get the FDA approval already. It was about, I want to say 6 weeks ago. As we speak, we're starting the first cases. So you're going to see the Mayo Clinic and a few other prominent institutions doing these cases. I do think that robotics will change in shoulder the standard of care, just like robotics impacted knees and hips. I believe this is one of many generations to come. So again, V1, V2 is going to be coming closely behind. And the idea is to continue to disrupt shoulder surgery. How do we improve accuracy, which ROSA Shoulder already is doing? How do we shorten the amount of time in the operating room? And what happens after the surgery is done? Can we move from 6 weeks of physical therapy post shoulder surgery to 6 days? Can we do some things that we didn't do before around tissue sparing? Can we lesser pain? Can we do all the things that you wanted to do? So really excited about where we are with ROSA Shoulder and just robotics in general. So great times.
No, I agree. And the shoulder in particular, the true masters of shoulder arthroplasty, do an amazing job, right? They've been doing it for a long time, and it's a complex joint. It has the most freedom of motion, which can, really create complications. So I think what's really going to be nice with that robot in particular, it's going to sort of elevate the game of so many other surgeons to really make them better at what they're doing and to try and minimize outliers as far as complications, infections, et cetera. So I think it has a tremendous place, moving forwards, and congratulations to you getting that done first.
Thank you, Dr. Sigman. I'll tell you, the last thing I'll tell you about robotics is it's not a one product platform. It's the ecosystem. So ROSA Shoulder is fully, just like ROSA Knee and ROSA Hip, fully integrated with the rest of the ecosystem. So with our navigation wires, with our mobility application, with our planning software. So it's just not the robot anymore. It's how the robot is fully interconnected with the rest of the shoulder ecosystem. So exciting times, and I look forward to having a ROSA Shoulder near you so that you can take a look at it and tell me whether all of these that I'm telling you is hyperbolic or not. Very exciting times.
I love it. So look, I'm the chief medical officer and founder of Ortho Laser, which is a company that we're very excited about. And we always talk about what is our function? We are a missionary company. We are not a mercenary company. And I've heard you really say that about Zimmer Biomet, which is really, quite unique within the medical device space. So give us your thoughts about the mission, the higher mission that Zimmer Biomet has for its patients, et cetera.
Yeah. So start with my personal story. As I mentioned, I've never done anything other than healthcare. Why is that? Well, look, I've been impacted by disease in my family. My father died when I was 5 years old. He was 45. My uncle became my father. He died 9 months later at the age of 45. I was barely 6. And then July of 2010, my brother died when he was 45 years old. I've seen pain and suffering because of disease. And these 3 examples happen to be cancer. That is inspiring to me, to know that each and every day I do something that helps others. So I will tell you, healthcare is the only thing I know how to do. Healthcare is the only thing that I will do. Closer to home here at Zimmer Biomet, 13 words define who we are: alleviating pain and improving the quality of life for people around the world. And later on, you can count the 13 words, because 13 words they are. And I think that's the one thing that motivates all of us, 20,000 employees around the world. The fact that every 8 seconds, somebody around the world, around the globe, is getting impacted by what we do in a positive way. And we take this with a lot of pride and with an extreme sense of urgency, because these patients are waiting in pain. So with a very mission-centric company, with a very missionary versus mercenary, I'm going to steal that from you. I love that. And that inspires us. That's why I get up early, and that's why I go to bed late, because I know each and every day that patients are waiting. And that's why we do what we do.
Well, even the people of Warsaw have great respect and fondness for you. You're doing some good stuff there too for the local community, aren't you?
I love this town. I don't think people realize what's happening here in Warsaw, Indiana. It's a community of around 13,000 people. 2/3 of the community work in some sort of orthopedic company. So much innovation has come out of Warsaw, Indiana. I call it the Silicon Valley of the Midwest. The passion is surreal. The people are unreal. It's just a great community. We've been doing great stuff for almost 100 years. And I do think in the next 5 to 10 years, you're going to see even bolder stuff coming out of Warsaw, Indiana. So just a great community. And everybody should be forced to spend at least a week a year in Warsaw, Indiana, to realize the magic that is happening here in this community.
I'm coming. I'm telling you right now, we're going to go out to dinner. We're going to Warsaw. We've got some mutual friends, so we're going to make that happen for sure. We'll break bread. I love it.
Deal.
I love it. Listen, Ivan, this is fantastic. This is what we love to do on the Ortho Show. We bring in remarkable people with incredibly unique stories that are here making an incredible difference on the planet. You are a breath of fresh air when it comes to a CEO of an amazing medical device company. You are face forward. You are literally the face of Zimmer Biomet. We love safety, efficiency, best-in-class outcomes, the 5 pillars, the 13 words. All of those things are what is your leadership style. Keep leading the way that you do, and we can't thank you enough for all that you're doing contributing to orthopedics.
You are too kind. I love what you do. Again, I'm a huge fan. Thank you for having me here with you today. Much appreciated.
Oh, it is my pleasure. This is Dr. Scott Sigman, #FollowTheFro, host of the Ortho Show. Till next time.